Unio act like they're invincible, but they need a hand on the surface. They're looking for data, survey info on a specific area. I guess they think there's exotics down there, which gives you at least 2 good reasons to take this one. speedrun's finished, and the data's come through.
And now we wait. Yeah, that's the whole mission. You just sit around and wait for more than an hour. So why the hell am I speedrunning this mission? Well, I thought I would speedrun this mission because I want to speedrun every single mission in this game that can be speedrun. So that just has an objective in some sort of way. And B, because it's a pretty good time to speedrun this mission. If you have seen my other videos, you have seen that this character is actually not max level yet. Which is fine, because most speedruns don't really need a lot of talent points or blueprints. But is also a bit of a hindrance, because of course I could be speedrunning them faster if my character was a higher level. So this mission is pretty nice, because now I just have time to level up my character for future missions, which will be also pretty long, but will have something to actually do in them. Like the payday extraction mission, which I plan to do pretty soon. Just need to get to max level first and unlock few extra blueprints and talents. So I can do this right now while we wait for all of this to finish. I also wanted to talk about the changes introduced this week and the promised changes coming next week. If you're watching this in the future, you've probably already seen this, but right now it's pretty new stuff. We got a change in talents, which also means that this character is pretty much a lot stronger than in almost any other videos I already made. And let me just get here. So, because this character is already a lot stronger, because the changes, which I'll show you in a minute, after I died in the spear, because I'm not careful. I actually forgot the stealth there, so I will have to. Let's just take another longer run. Why are you always so close to me? This isn't fun. Well, let's just. I mean, it doesn't matter right now. I'm not really concentrated because I still have an hour. Don't need that much time, so just you just affect the air. That's weird. I can't just die here. Not really a big problem. Okay, now let's try again without falling off this time. So changes to talent points. As you can see, there's now the solo tree, which means that in any mission you're actually not doing with friends. Have 25 extra talent points. Well, at max now, you have 25 extra talent points to boost you. So that's pretty neat. Which also means that this character's speed is increasing. Stop doing that. Is increasing or when I'm doing it alone, and I also have a lot more talent points to spend. Overall, they increased the talent points you have for the normal trees by 12, which I still have to unlock, and increased the talent points for the solo tree to 25, just like I said earlier. So, what I want to talk about while we wait for this mission to finish is the nice things in Icarus and the bad things in Icarus, and just overall speedrunning in it, if you want to do it yourself. There are actually quite a few things that will make your life easier, and quite a few things that can make it a lot more difficult. For example, when it comes to speedrunning, oxygen is almost always, well, on the shorter missions, almost always useless. You don't need it. Pretty much just, you don't even take a pickaxe. Anything that you don't need to spend more than 20 minutes in, just ignore oxygen. But if for some reason you actually run out of oxygen because you spent long on it, or you just had a bad run, and the mission is getting longer than 20 minutes, then it can pretty much kill you, which will not only make you lose the run, but also, because it kills you, it will just essentially remove all your items, and you can either try to get your corpse back, which just takes more time of your day, or you can actually, now that you have in this update you actually got possibility to unlock everything in the tech tree with time, so I can spend my tech points to build stuff that I would have never built on any character before, like the upgrade hammer, because it's weird. But I actually built it on a different character that I'm not speedrunning with, but it's very slow in comparison. I actually built it, and it's a pretty nice thing. I'll show you how it works. Also, this would be just all over the place because I don't have a script. I didn't really think I would make such a video. So just bear with me. I'll just ramble on for 80 minutes still. But if you want to skip all this, there will be absolutely nothing of importance right here. I mean, maybe there will be, and if there is, I will include timestamp so you can skip to something important, but that probably won't be, because I've already run this mission, I think 2 times. One time, the first time I played it, which I always do with friends and with just taking our time doing stuff pretty slowly. And then the second time, just to scout ahead a little bit for the speedrun. Not really doing any big planning on it, just figuring out what's needed, what has to be done when, and just the general structure of it, because pretty much I can record the first one, but it almost never is a good one, so I will just always do another. Yeah, so there won't be anything in here. You can just move on, or you can listen to me ramble about the game and the speedrunning, which I pretty much like. So, back to the speedrunning. You also, in all my videos, you see that I almost never drink anything, because in almost every video I have berries, and you don't need to drink for a long time. I haven't drunk anything yet, because berries give you water, and taking berries from the space station is a very good idea. Unless you have a bit of extra time, where taking something you can cook is sometimes better. Sometimes, not always. If you're doing a longer mission, the canteen is pretty good, because it lasts normally a whole mission, even if you take it pretty slow. And if you're fast, then well, you'll never run out of water again. And for the food, well, I have some talents. Well, actually one talent reduces food consumption, and now I also have will be getting this one probably, which also reduces the consumption of everything, which just gives you a bit more space for your drop menu. When you drop to the surface, you have a few more options, because you don't need so much supplies. And you can just take more essential items like combat knives for if you want to skin something real quick, or, well, I always like to take my fireworker, because it's just a little bit faster to have it instead of crafting it, and it looks a lot nicer than the one you can actually craft. So why do I always take the fireworker, or craft the fireworker if I don't take it? Didn't do that. Well, I actually didn't run the fireworker on the first character that I made. And I didn't run the fireworker on the second character that I made that was supposed to be my speedrunning character. I tried out the bow first, and for anyone not speedrunning, just casually playing the game, I would always recommend the bow, because having the bow as your speed item just means that you don't have to switch around items while traveling. You always have something to defend yourself, right on you, and you don't have to switch to it, which means you don't get jumped as often, and you don't die as often, which pretty much always you can just turn and run. If you have a little bit of extra speed on your character, you can just turn and run and nothing can get to you. But, oh yeah, I forgot, there's always a spear spawning on this side of the island, which means I won't be setting up a base here. I just want to make this wood structure a little bit more durable, so I don't have to come back here and check on it every storm. Because if the storm actually damages the structures enough to make them to make big holes into them, then the beacons won't count as sheltered, and then you will have to get back in there and you will lose time while they aren't sheltered. So I'm just going to do another layer, small layer this time. It should be enough for this one, and then I can do the same over time with the others. And yeah, then I can just focus on leveling up my character. So, the fireworker. Why do I use the fireworker and not other stuff like the bow or the knife? Which, the knife is also pretty good, but it doesn't have that much utility unless you actually just want to run up to things and tank them, but that's almost always a bad idea in the start. is quite nice when you have actually good food, but I don't like to cook. It's not something that's very fun. It's just formulaic stuff, and it's very either you bring everything with you to the surface or you don't, which means that you have to run around and search for it. It takes a lot of sulfur to get to it, and it's pretty slow. But if you're someone that likes to do that, then doing a knife build, which focuses on combat with the knife and just buffs that help you survive, is pretty much ideal for you. Until you get firearms, which then means you have also a strong ranged option, and you can just switch to that in the late game. The fireworker is the best, in my opinion, the best option for speedrunning because of two things. One, you also get the 10% movement speed, unlike the spears, which don't give you 10% movement speed. They just have 10% movement speed. But you will always have to take the spear from the workshop, which always means one space that you have to allocate it for it. And that's just not very good. Because sometimes you just want to have so many things with you. So the spears are basically dead on arrival, unless you're doing a glitched run where you use everything you can, because there is, I think, like I said, I don't run spears, so I don't normally know if this still is in, but it probably is. Because patching bugs is not a priority right now for the development team, which is, yeah, that's pretty much a good opinion. I like that. In my opinion, that's pretty much what you should do while you develop the game. You shouldn't be so focused on patching glitches and small bugs that, well, maybe make the game a little bit harder, maybe make it a little bit easier on the player, but in the general sense don't matter. Like, for example, if you have the talent for spears, which makes you run faster while aiming, that's a really bad talent and you shouldn't have it. Well, or later you shouldn't have it, because while aiming you use stamina, which isn't such a big deal when you actually play normally, but as you have seen, I always jump while running. Well, almost always. Unless I'm running up a steep hill, I'm always jumping. Because every time you jump, the timer for your stamina regeneration starts. And the timer is 1 second. And if you're trying to run up a hill, well, then you will just instantly land again, and that doesn't matter. But if you do it down, well, you can see my stamina is starting to regenerate with each... Oh, hello. With each jump, my stamina is actually regenerating, which means I'm actually gaining stamina. And I'm not consuming stamina. So, when I'm jumping, I can regain stamina, which means I can sprint for longer and further distances. Which also means that I'm safer from enemies and I can get to my destination faster. Pretty self-explanatory. While you aim, you use stamina. And every time you use stamina, you cannot regenerate it. And the timer for it does not reset. So, normally with the spear you can run just as fast as with the fireworker, but you will be using a lot more stamina to do so. Which, that just makes the spear useless. Except right now there is the bug that if you start aiming with the spear, and while aiming you switch to a different weapon or tool, then the extra movement speed does not go away, as long as you don't get back to aiming with the spear. You can then keep the extra movement speed, and get the additional 10% or movement speed from the workshop speed. So double the movement speed of the knife or the fireworker build, or the bow build. But that's a glitch. It's pretty much sure that it's a glitch because it's not intended and it will be patched out someday. So I'm not using it because I don't want my speedruns to be invalidated right away because I don't want to re-record them 1 week later, and some of them take a lot of time. And the second thing why the fireworker is the best in my opinion, and well, I don't see how anything else could be good, is that there is a talent which gives you 30% stamina regeneration while holding the fireworker. And that's pretty much in construction. It's not very far down, so you just need 1, 2, 3, 4. Just need 4 points to unlock it, and then 2 points to get it, so that's 6 points to get 30% stamina regeneration while holding the fireworker. 30% stamina regeneration is the same as all the stamina regeneration you can get from normal food you cook on a campfire. You can't get more than 30% from campfire cooking. It is more than you can get to shop items or other stuff. It's pretty much the highest stamina regeneration. And stamina regeneration is important because just having a ton of stamina is useless if you can't regenerate it fast enough, because if you don't regenerate it fast, then after you use it, the time you will need to recover from using it all up will invalidate the extra gain from your higher stamina. So, using the fireworker means that you will always have 30% more stamina regeneration, additionally to all the other effects, like for example the corn and the mushrooms, which also give you 10% stamina regeneration. What this does is every single time you jump, you stop using stamina while sprinting, you regenerate 30% more stamina in that little bit of time that you actually regenerated. And if you use up a lot of stamina and have just a moment to regenerate it, you also need 30% less time to regenerate it. Sure, the fireworker is pretty much useless in all the other regards. You don't need it to keep your base safe because it shouldn't burn. Like if your base burns, you are either careless or you're built it in a wrong kind of layout. Because while building a base, a fire should always be built in a place that people don't accidentally walk into. Trust me, I set a lot of bases on fire, and I had friends set a lot of bases on fire, and we figured it out. You can do it so that just from instinct nobody's walking into the fire, because they don't take the path in your base that would lead them into the fire, and that means that they don't set it on fire and they don't have to be careful and watch what they're doing. I mean, the exception is, of course, just shelters that you build to shelter yourself from the storm. Those are set on fire quite often, but that doesn't matter because it's just one times one shelter. So the fireworker is useless. for anything else except for the speed, which is, yeah, how you should use it. The six points you use for it, you could of course use less points if you take other talents. So you have you need 6 points to get the 30% speed and 1 point to get the 10% speed, and you get the 10% speed 1 point in front of that. So you could instead go for the combat abilities. You could put 3 points into the bow, which will give you the movement speed, which is 1 point more than you will need for the fireworker. So if you don't care about stamina regeneration, the fireworker is still better than the bow. Or you can go for the knife, which has the same problem. It also needs 3 points. But of course, then you're running around with the knife or with the bow. Yeah, you can think about it, but yeah, you would have to have a mission where having those things is actually useful and not just extra security. So that's why I used fireworker. And that's pretty much why I have so much stamina regeneration, and why you see it in every single video. Because, yeah, even when you're building stuff or mining, if you just use all your stamina to get stone, you can switch to fireworker real quick and regenerate it. And that way you can complete your mission faster. So the good stuff in... well, that should probably go away. The good stuff in this update. They added actually quite a lot of stuff. They added the extra talent points, and they didn't invalidate any of my previous runs. What I mean by that is no run that I did is faster than any run that could now possibly be run. I will take those down if that ever happens. If they implement something that like change that would make my previous runs faster than the runs that can be done later on, then I would take that one down because it's no longer representative of the game. But I didn't. Actually, every single run could now be done faster. Last week they implemented the change to backpacks. You have now an extra backpack slot and you don't have to carry it in G, which is pretty good for speedrunning. In every mission where you have to carry, like in this one where you have to carry a scanner, a beacon actually, or in missions where you have to carry a scanner from one place to another, you now always get the 5% extra movement speed, which is, I mean, that's huge. It's one of the best movement speed buffs you can get if you can just get it from the shop. So that was a pretty good update. I like that. Made speedrunning easier. Another update that they did today, I already talked about it, is the extra 25 points for just the solo tree, which means that every single character you have right now, even if the character is better at building and not so fast at running, you can make him fast at running, and you can give him extra, like you can still make him fast at running, you can give him a lot of extra stamina, some extra health, you can like get extra yield from foraging, which, I mean, no one was getting before. Just making a bone sickle, a bone scythe or sickle, a bone sickle, I think. Making one is just makes a lot more sense because you get a lot more than picking from with your hands, even if you have 20% extra foraging. But of course, you can get extra percent foraging now, and in your normal missions, you can still build the sickle. So yeah, that's a pretty big improvement. What I don't like about the recent changes are that, well, next week they are supposed to bring in talent point resets, so you can reset your talent points, which is a good thing. I like that, but they want to just charge currency for it. And currency, if you have seen my currency farmer videos, currency is I mean, it will be good for speedrunning, but it won't be good for the health of the game if you just spend a little bit of currency. Because some people, they take a guide like the guide I did mainly for speedrunning, so you can have a lot of currency that you can spend for speedrunning, because with speedrunning, normally you spend money, you don't get a lot of it. I mean, yeah, some people would argue, well, you're running through the mission very, very quickly, so you can get a lot of currency very, very quickly. But this is right now my 4th attempt at the mission. As you can see in the timer, there's a little 4 next to the name of the mission. And this one will be the first one, yeah, this will be the first speedrunning attempt where I probably will get the points. But I already spent 40 points, 40 of the yellow currency, which is called Ren. I already spent 40 Ren to start this mission, because I took packets of food with me, which are now gone. Those are just... I took them with me so I could eat 1 melon and 1 berry at the start, because that gives you extra stamina, and you don't have to pick them up first and then eat them from your inventory. It makes it just a little bit faster. Not a lot, just a little bit, but it's worth the currency. On other missions, you may have seen me just toss away a furnace or a campfire from the shop, which cost 50 each. That's quite a lot more, and that's actually not the most expensive stuff I've just tossed away. I regularly just toss all of my equipment, because if you start a mission and the mission takes you from D4 to down here at D10, and you die at C10 because something stupid happens, like you break both your legs and a beer kills you, because instead of taking the longer route, which just takes 20 seconds longer, you just say, well, I'm gonna try the shorter route, and I'm just gonna jump here and see if jumping from here kills me. Well, then sometimes you just lose a cheap axe, a cheap pick, maybe a cheap knife, but they all add up. You just might, for a mission that will give you 150 at the end, you might just spend 250 every time you die, trying to take a quicker route, or trying to find a place where you can safely mine some ore without having to spend a lot of time getting rid of worms and enemies in front of it. Or you just run into a cave and, well, the RNG just spawns, instead of 2 worms, you just get 6 or 8, and they kill you, because you can't take time to do it slowly, so you just run in and start getting at them with your knife, and then, well, the other 6 appear and you already took too much damage, so you're dead. And yeah, I usually don't get my stuff back. I just respawn, go back and restart the mission by buying just brand new stuff. I still have a lot of currency, because of course when the mission is running good, I tend to finish it, and even if it's not a good time, I just take the extra 2 minutes to get to know the mission better and get some currency back, because yeah, you can always need it for for speedrunning, you will almost always use currency to speedrun. Which makes it pretty weird that they make respecking cost just a normal yellow currency, which is again called red. Because people that don't speedrun the game, people that just try to enjoy it, they almost always pick the wrong talents. For my first character that just wanted to play with friends, I also picked the wrong talents. They are, well, I would say half of them are pretty much useless. Not useless that they never have any use to them, but they aren't the way I play. And I'm not always that fast. I like to just go around killing a lot of stuff. I'm the guy that makes the armor for everyone, so within just 5 minutes everyone has nice Gillet armor. I like to just hunt a lot, but you also have to traverse the world, so you also have to have a little bit of speed, and well, some perks are just really, really good to have. So I didn't get some that I really want to have, some that I got some that are pretty much useless, especially for a character that is already so good at hunting and killing stuff. You don't need a lot of extra for such a character. So I would like to respect, but if I continue playing like I'm playing with my friends, then the heavy price for respecting my talent points will cost me a lot of currency. Not a lot, that it's just a big number, but a lot in playtime. I don't have so much playtime. I don't have so many complete missions on my other character. I'm doing it slow, I'm enjoying the game, and spending currency means that I have to finish missions. And finishing missions just means getting through them, which just means trying to do some missions only for the currency. That's not a lot of fun for people that play slowly. They almost always have very little currency. They don't have a lot of exotics and they don't have a lot of men. While people that already play the game pretty fast, so where was I? Ah, yeah. So those people don't have a lot of currency, and people that run missions fast, they already have a lot of currency, and they actually could afford to make another character. I mean, this is actually my 5th or 6th character, and this one's specifically built the speedrun, so he's extremely fast, and has all the things I think will be useful for now, for unspecified missions. For me, it's pretty easy to just pay the price, even if it's quite a lot of Ren. I have some, and I could easily get more. For me, it's pretty easy to pay the price in Ren and make my character specific for change my character's talents for a specific mission. That means that the mission will be a lot faster, so that's pretty much just positives for me as a speedrunner. It will just make the mission a lot faster, and for example, like a mission like Payday Extraction, which is pretty long. You have to go very high in tiers, and you have to craft very expensive stuff, and you have to go through a lot of caves, and get a lot of resources. Some talents will make this mission a lot faster. Like, a lot faster. Which I don't have right now, because in most missions, you don't do that. You don't go up to that higher level, you don't craft that many things, you don't get so many resources. You just get out of the dropship and just run. So for me it will be good, but I don't like it because it won't be good for other players. Because they don't have resources, they take a lot of time, and I took a lot of time. I really enjoyed the game at the start, and we played as a team for a long time, and we slowly got, I think maybe it took 50 or 60 game hours for us to unlock the first shop armor, which the shop armor which you can equip instead of what I normally usually wear. And I see I did not craft these, which means yeah, I messed up the start of this run, but I mean this run takes almost 2 hours. Nobody's gonna do this. Nobody's even. Most of my videos get watched by probably just my friends, which that's fine, but nobody's going to try to do this anytime soon, so I could just, even if I messed up and this mission's gonna run 1 minute longer, well, just try and be quicker than me. Just go ahead. I'd like to see that, because I would like to see more people playing this game and speedrunning this game also. So why don't I like that you have to spend currency? Because there are a lot of things that you can spend currency on. And people that play this game slowly and try to really enjoy every mission, they don't have a lot of currency. But what they do like to do and what they really enjoy is running missions. So I would just suggest, well, instead of making it cost currency to respec your character, you should have just made a mission. Like, run this mission, and at the end you get the token, and you can use the token to respec your character. Most people would just run this mission once or twice, and they would know what their character is supposed to look like, and they would do that just so they could enjoy another mission. You can make this mission harder or easier, or you can just make different missions, like one mission that gives you a token which just resets one of the talent trees here, or you can make a harder mission which gives you resets everything, and you can just spend everything again. You can just make an objective that is inside other missions, which gives you a token which is made. So you can just take away one of these 10 points. You can just restructure it slowly. With every mission you get a token, and you can just restructure it very slowly. But people that play this game very slowly, they also tend to know exactly what they did wrong and what they would do better this time. So that wouldn't really be a problem. I recently just, well, I'm watching YouTube and watching Twitch to see how other people are playing this game. And I recently just saw some people that play this game so slowly and so methodically that, well, they will spend just 7 hours into the mission without even knowing if the mission is that big or that small. They will just take up to the best weapons and the best building materials and get everything the best that they can, and they don't care. They don't care that maybe they wouldn't need it. They don't even look at it before. They just, I don't want to get killed, so I'm just gonna step back before more spawn. They will just get the hunting rifle every single mission, and if the mission then is just go there and click on the little plant, like the bio-research things, well, then they would have enjoyed themselves. So those people don't have enough currency to even attempt most speedruns because, well, they can't afford backpack yet. They don't have that stuff. And that will just make their progression slower. But enough about that. I think I made myself clear why I don't like that. Even if it's better for speedrunners, it's probably not so healthy for the game. Probably. I mean, I'm not an expert. I only play this game as speedrun right now because, well, there are a lot of other games right now that my friends play, so I'm the only one still playing it, and when I'm playing alone, I like to be very, very fast. As fast as I can, which is what I'm speedrunning doing. So, there's a change that's coming that I will like, but probably won't be good for the game. Oh yeah, I want also to talk about the well, about the two armor sets that are very controversial in my mind. The one you get from the shop, the nano armor, I think it's called, which I also have and have used. So don't think that I don't have it, so I'm salty that it's so expensive. No, I'm actually not salty that it's expensive. I'm salty that it's so so good and bad at everything. And I'm not using it. I'm almost never using it. It's almost always a worse idea than just making your own. And not only for speedruns. It's not only for speedruns that you don't want to use it, or just it doesn't make sense to use it, but also for casual play. If you try to, if you think about what you actually want to achieve with an armor, the shop armor is good in everything, but not great in anything, and it makes your game actually less interesting if you take it with you. Because, well, what are the strengths of the shop armor? The strength is you have an armor right at the start, and it has a lot of defense, so you can take a lot of hits from animals, which, I mean, you saw me fight. I'm talking and I'm not really concentrated, and I don't even care if I die, because I've already calculated that I will lose everything in this mission, and I don't need that money. But I do need that pickaxe, so that one I should probably not have brought, but even if I lose it, that's not a very big deal. I just craft another one. I already have two of these. Why did I take the armor with me? It has 10% stamina regeneration. Well, it's good in a lot of ways because it has all this stuff. It has stamina regeneration, it has health regeneration. It can actually defend you from attackers because it has so much armor value, and well, it has also cold resistance, and it has heat resistance, so you can go into the ice biome without having all the talents that, for example, I do. I have as you can see, I have the Arctic Master talent, which gives you 50% cold resistance in the Arctic, which is pretty good, but you could also just take the armor from the shop, and you would have, I think it's the same, or just a bit buff. I don't know, because I never used this armor. Because what do you want to achieve with this armor? Well, normally people take it because they want to be less scared to go around. They want to be able to fight against enemies and win more often. They don't want to, because they always have this idea that if I lose now, I lose so much progress and I lose all my stuff and I have to run back to my corpse. And that's weirdly also the reason why I don't like the armor that I actually prefer while I'm normally playing this game. Which gives you exactly that. You makes you win every single fight that you fight, and it makes you just almost invincible to enemies. And it's the don't really know how to pronounce it, but it's the Glier armor, which I don't have in this unlocked for this character because you need to get to here, and that's just that's too many points. I can't afford this on the speedrun character until a mission actually calls for more points in here. But yeah, on my normal characters, on every other character I have this unlocked, because this armor will make you, well, invincible to enemies. It gives you so much reduced threat, which just means increased stealth, that enemies, well, they will forget where you stood when you attacked them. You can shoot an arrow at the bear and then just sprint 20-30 meters to the right or left or whatever, and he will get to the location where you shot from, and he will not know where you are. It's just, well, even if you see like there's a bear right there, I don't want to fight him right now. So even if he sees me first with the Gilead armor, I can just run away. And you know, if you see my other videos, that's almost always what I do. I just run away from enemies because fighting them takes too much time. I could be spending running somewhere else. Just finish this. Probably don't need the floors. I use this design of building to... Oh, I'm done. Okay, so I can just start crafting for experience points. I'd already used quite a lot of time to talk about stuff, which is good because this mission is so boring. Even if you play it with friends, it's just... There's nothing to do right now. I don't have to, wouldn't even need to build those shelters, those battle shelters, because just run away. You can just take a little distance from all these things and the weather won't damage them nearly as much, and I didn't pay attention. The weather won't damage them as much, and or they will just unload completely, so they will be pretty safe. Not because they won't be destroyed when you come back, they will be destroyed when you come back. But it doesn't count. It only counts when you come back, then it is checked if those stations are still sheltered, so if you're in a multiplayer game you will even get the message that those aren't sheltered, but it will, for the one that's hosting it, they will just continue to count the mission and the mission will be successful. So yeah, you don't... Yeah, not speedrunning, or if you're speedrunning, it doesn't matter, it's just very boring. You don't have anything else to do. Which is normally why you want the Gilead armor. You don't want to be bothered when you don't want to be bothered. Like this bear that just attacked me. It attacked me because it could see me, but if I was there in Gilead armor, it would probably have just wandered to me. Even if it wandered to me, it would have just stood there and not seen me, because you just ghost with it. And in any game you start in desert or in the riverlands or the forest, you don't need to shop armor. It will just make your life worse, because the enemies will see you more often and they will just attack you more often, and you will have to deal with them more often. And if you have the glare armor, you can just choose your battle. If you want to fight, you will just go there and fire the first shot. You will always be the one firing the first shot. So yeah, if you just want to play this game casually, with just getting that, it's not a lot of talent points, just you need 1, 2, 3, and then I think you need to get to this. You won't get with 3, so you just have to take 1 more point, which stamina is always good. Or ladder breakdown. Ladder breakdown is pretty good if you're playing casually, because you will always have But you will not always have the crafting bench with you, but will always have animals that you can quickly kill, so you can craft, some rope, which you will almost always need as a casual player because you'll always break your legs. That's something that this game makes pretty clear, that you will always break your legs. Oh, it always gives so much. And rope is always good, so you can take this and then you will have everything you need for the splint, which making that on the fly without a crafting bench is pretty good. And you can't take them with you because they are single slot items. You can't stack them, so having 6 splints would just take 1 row away from you. So that's nobody's gonna do that. Just maybe you will take 1, but most often when you actually have a fall and you need 1, you can use 2 to double reduce the duration. So yeah, being able to craft them on yourself is pretty good. Yeah, so the shop armor. Why don't I like it more? Well, it's too good in everything and not the best in anything. People always take it because they think they will be safer with it, but they usually aren't. And this message again. Hopefully the game doesn't crash, because if you actually don't... Oh, okay, great. If you don't actually regain connection, the game will throw you out, and I don't like just restarting game right away, letting the timer run and going on. I would have to redo all of this because, well, I don't want to. So I don't want to make a speedrun where I have to reload the game. It just feels bad. It's probably not a rational thing, but yeah, it just feels so bad. So, why don't I like the armor? I don't like the armor because it costs 5 places to take it. So everyone that thinks that will make them safer, or that just likes it because they don't have to bother and the first minutes will actually be safer than with any other armor, I lose so much variety. Like, normally you always take 2 mods, which will always be 2 speed mods, which I will actually not take because this is good for hunting experience. Normally you take 2 mods, and you almost always now take a backpack because, well, the green backpack is for traveling a lot, the red backpack is very liked because you can just build a base and you don't have to build it right in a cave because you can transport a lot of ore with the red backpack. And the yellow red backpack is not very liked, but alright, then I can hear it. Well, let's just do that. The backpack, the yellow backpack is not very often used. I also need to heal myself before I actually become infected. The red backpack isn't, the yellow backpack isn't often used, but whenever you want to fight an actual boss, it's pretty nice to take it because the extra bow attack will help you out a lot. But of course you can also, if you buff up the firearms, then just take whatever just take the red one or the green one, or well, just use the space for something else and get yourself the normal leather backpack, which is pretty good also. But you'll almost always take a backpack, so you have 3 spaces that you've already used up, then you have just 2 more, and that means, well, normally you can't take a lot with you. you can't take a lot with you and you can't experiment a lot. I'm almost always the one to take extra things for my friends because, well, I have the space because I'm not using that armor and I don't actually like taking... I actually like the one-use items like the seed packs, which give you berries or watermelons or... Well, actually if you always want, if you're planning to stay a long time, you always want the mushrooms because the buffs that you can get from those are really good. If you don't have desert nearby, you want the squash, and it's always nice. Oh yeah, that one didn't even. Oh, but I'm gonna place it anyway. I want to have it in my inventory. So you don't actually see people use these items because they take the armor. The armor should be, in my opinion, it should be a lot cheaper, not to research, but to craft. It should be just maybe 50 Ren or maybe 50 Ren and 10 exotics. But every single part should be inside one of these packets, like the berries that I took with me on this mission, or the arrows for the bow, or the coal for the furnace and the campfire. It should come in a package, and you should not be able to reseal it. It should just be left on the ground. So for a little bit, like 50 Ren and 10 exotics, you should be able to have it in one single spot in your dropship, and you unpack it and you have it for the mission. That way people could experiment with a lot more stuff, and the armor would still be used because it's pretty good at everything. So yeah, even I would take it on most missions then. Which I don't do now because I don't like the second glitch that I'm gonna talk about, which I also don't use because I'm doing my speedruns to stay valid as long as possible, but stay valid for me. Right now there's no official speedrun.com or any other site that tracks that, so yeah, for me they will only be official as long as they don't as long as they are still possible to do faster or the same speed. So when they patch glitch out, that wouldn't be a valid speedrun anymore. Okay, I think something goes by. Yeah. So I don't use the second glitch, which is taking as many items as you want with you. Yeah, you can actually take as many items as you want to the surface of the planet from space. Just by dropping more items in there. Just continue to drop items in there until everything's in there. And yeah, they will try to jump out back into your normal storage, but well, they are a little bit glitched, so just continue to put them in and they will eventually stay in. So yeah, right now you can take the armor and a lot of other stuff, which again a lot of people don't do because they don't like using that glitch like me, or they just don't know about it. So yeah, they need to think, in my opinion, they need to think a lot more about what people are actually using this stuff for, and a bit less about what they would want people to use this stuff for. They should go from the other way around. Like, what are people using that stuff for, and how can we make them use it in, well, how can we make them continue to use that, but better, so that they also have time to do the things we want them to do. Because I really like the other stuff they put in, like taking plants with you. That's really great. You don't have to run around, and you can almost instantly start a farm. You just get all your stuff from space, and you can have really good meals. I mean, with better meals from the better kitchens. You can just, you know, just fight a polar bear without all the extra shenanigans, like building a tower or trying to joust him for the dominance. You don't need all that, so yeah, taking those with you is pretty great. Taking stuff like the smelters, they are really great. I take them on almost every mission that I play normally, because they are a lot smaller, they look a lot better, and just not having to get that stone right at the start just feels good. So it's pretty good. But yeah, I use that because I'm specifically not taking the armor, because I use other armors which I know suit me better in the playstyle. But I know a lot of people that don't do that. They just either take the armor or just working towards the armor so they can take it on every mission. And yeah, that's, I don't know, that's not a lot of fun, I think, for the game as a whole. But speedrunning the game, that's pretty good. That's a lot of fun with all these expendable items, because yeah, if you have 10 slots, you can take a lot of things that will make the earliest of the game a lot faster, and you can then just take more risks. Like I can take more risks with some missions because I know right away that, well, if I don't find any oxygen, if I just take the 150 oxygen consumable from the station, then we can try out that speedrun right now without being scared that my character might die or that might lose the speedrun. I will just lose a little bit more speed. And the next time I can just replace that. If I know, yeah, that's fine, I can just replace it with something else that gives me more speed. And then I can actually and then I can try the speedrun out again. That's pretty good. Yeah, if you want to try speedrunning this game, I would highly recommend it. There's a lot of stuff that will make you speedrun faster or slower, so you can have, improve on speedrun quite a lot. And check out every speedrun that I've done already. They're all on YouTube. For the most, I spent 5 attempts getting better at it, or just managing to make a successful attempt. Yeah, if you want to try and beat them, well, I would be pretty happy if someone actually beat them using the same, the same philosophy. Like, don't use the glitches. There's the third glitch I want to talk about, which is actually what I've already made videos about, where you can get currency really fast, so you can spend a lot of it to just try to make it faster run. And that's the unstuck glitch. If you use unstuck, that will teleport your character from the place that you're supposedly stuck on. You can't move. Like getting stuck here, you could get stuck. And if you couldn't break this down, you probably would need to use unstuck command there. Just so you could be, you'd be able to move again. And I'm gonna use this right now to download and have some sleep. People don't like to play in the night. I don't like to do that either. It's pretty annoying because I don't see as much, but in speedruns I'll just deal with it and just run through the night, because I was aim faster in the night. So if there's actually running involved, the night will make me faster, but I don't actually think that those talent points are worth it. Like, probably those two should have gone here. probably, maybe also here, or just getting rid of the oxygen consumption. Is this actually the highest consumption from them all? So yeah, people don't like night. That's just scarier for everyone. Not a lot of benefit actually playing during the night. Well, what was I rambling about before that? Ah yeah, speedrunning. So if you want to try speedrun, I would suggest just taking your normal character that you have right now and just trying it out once. Because there are a lot of mistakes that are made in my speedruns, and any big mistakes I usually try again, do not make them, and just record again. But sometimes I'm just really angry about the mission because, well, if you make the same mistake twice, then or just the same bad thing happens to you twice because something in the game goes wrong, or the game just crashes on you. That sometimes happens, not a lot. I'm pretty confident that it won't crash in all this mission because, well, it hasn't crashed yet. So in all the other attempts, but sometimes it crashes. So if you have almost always it's at a transition to zone. Well, you just don't want to save another 5 seconds, but sometimes those mistakes add up a lot. And if you try one mission, you can, especially now that the talents got reworked, you can probably do some missions a lot faster than me. And yeah, I will try them again with the better talents, and the respecking. I will try to do them even faster, but for right now I'm trying to get through every single one. So yeah, if you want the unofficial world record in any of those missions, just go for it. It's a lot of fun, and the short ones, you don't even have to spend a lot of money. I mean, a lot of currency to get through them. They're mostly just taking 1, 2, 3 things from orbit and just running through the whole mission. Oh yeah, I wanted to farm. So why am I getting outside right now in the storm? Well, I have all the talents so that I can be around outside here for a long time. Not bother. Especially since the storm is gonna go away before I'm even half full in my project. Oh. Longer missions. I will also speedrun them, but they also involve a lot of grinding, which is, well, it's actually more fun than just sitting around like this. But yeah, that's just a lot of grinding, and I'm not really looking forward to that because, well, mistakes will just pile up. If you check something twice, that's one time. That's actually 2 times too many. You usually have to check something. If you craft stuff, the missions I've already run that involve some sort of crafting, I always calculate in front of it what I need, and I don't usually check if I have it. Just see it when I get the stuff and just calculate if I have everything, and then because it's not a lot of crafting, I usually don't have to go out again and find more stuff. And yeah, because that's also not a lot of fun. How long will it take? I think I should just plan 5 minutes to get back just to be sure. And there's a dealer. I'm barely spotted, and I don't like it. Well, how many arrows do I have? Lots, or just... It's probably not a good place to fight him. There's a lot of stuff in the way, then they tend to just move everywhere. Which is actually why fighting polar bears is actually nicer than normal bears, because normal bears will just change direction all the time and sometimes not attack you when you do when you run past them, so that then they can attack you when you think you can turn around and do some damage. So don't actually need to do that, especially because this character just doesn't do so much damage. Normally I just sit on a pole and look at them and just poke them with a stick. Let's get actually back to Dropper, because if I die right now, I don't want to run around and not get my stuff back. Because I don't want to actually redo the speedrun, because it's quite long and quite boring. And I don't think oh, no, it's not actually true. I would be able to just ramble on for another hour for another take. Because the game's a lot of fun and you can just lose yourself in it. If you haven't played it yet, it is a survival game, but it's not really a survival game. Like, it's like doing a survival game over and over again from the start with nothing with you, or almost nothing. You have progression, which is very good because you always want progression in a survival game, but it's more like the progression that makes you able to do things faster. Normally in a survival game you just, at the end it's no longer about survival because everything is automated or semi-automated, and you just sit around and hit all the stuff, and you can just think about the big picture, like how to build stuff out so that it looks good and that it's where you like it to be and stuff like that. That's not this game. Every time you start you just do the same stuff but better this time. You do it quicker, you do it more the way you like, because you know now what you like, and speedrunning this game is also, and because of that, speedrunning this game is also so much fun, because every single time you build a base, you know how to build it better. You just know better design, you know where things are supposed to be, you know what you struggled with last time, and you do it again, but better now. And yeah, some people really like this gigantic base with everything unlocked, and yeah, they'll find this game not so good, like they did. It's actually has a terrible rating on Steam. But if you don't expect a normal survival game, if you just think of this as a roguelike that isn't a real roguelike, then yeah, it's a lot of fun, especially with friends. You have seen there are a lot of talents, and I don't have them all because you can't get them all. Even later on, you won't be able to get them all, probably. But there's so much variety that you can have. Well, I think you can have 4 or 5 different, differently skilled guys play this game together, and they will all have something to do, and they all will have something to work towards. So 8 minutes, and how many? Oh, not only one level. I'm terrible when it comes to just trying to get levels. It's I haven't bothered to level this character up first. Yeah, I could skip all this, but so the extra experience points. And oh, that was a lot of chugging. Don't really want to game to crash now. So, yeah, I'm terrible at it because normally when I gain a lot of experience points, it's with a lot of help from my friends, because because they will cook the really good food and get all the resources so I can have a better bow than this, and we're normally moving to more densely populated areas like the Arctic with the polar bears, so with a lot of wolves, so then you can get a lot of experience points. When I do it alone, I just tend to run around a lot and just do stuff for fun, not because it's there. Like, I didn't kill two deers here because killing them is pretty annoying. Like, you have to run through the woods and just return fire, or you have to just tank damage. Yeah, that's not the build to do that. I think I'm too close to the dropship, that's why the game is chugging along, because the interior of the dropship is like... Actually, you should look around in the interior of the dropship. It's quite... yeah, the interior is, there's quite a lot of Easter eggs and fun stuff in there, worth a look. Yeah. Yeah, for everyone sticking to this boring part, I'm just rambling on because it's so boring, and I think you are pretty bored too, because, yeah, that's not the greatest mission. Before the mission ends, I want to talk about what I think they will do with missions in the future, which they already kind of shown with the last mission at the end that they added later on. This Voyager, which has a lot of different steps, and I think they will do something, or at least I hope they will do something like that. A mission with different objectives, like a main objective, which makes the mission completed. We get the normal amount of currency and everything for it, and then other objectives that you can do, optional objectives. They have this in Deep Vein Extraction, where you can get just one node of exotics and call it a day, or you can search for more to get more exotics, which is of course more dangerous and more time consuming. But a lot of people just don't see the value in building a lot in a mission and getting up into the higher tiers and doing all the stuff. Because most missions, well, they can be completed by a build like this, like this guy with a bow and just, well, just in normal cloth armor, and not even fighting a lot. So they don't see why they should level up, and yeah, they mostly shouldn't. Like in most missions, it doesn't make sense. Maybe over half of the missions, it doesn't make sense to level up that far. I didn't level up for this mission. I didn't go up the tiers. I don't even have tier 4. Oh yeah, I have tier 4 now. But I haven't crafted anything in tier 4 on this character, I think, yet. And I've done over 20 missions now with him, speedrun, so yeah. So if there will be optional objectives that require you to get better stuff, that will be a lot of fun. You could actually, people that like to go up, and I like to go up because I like the firearms, even if I don't use them because they're useless. Most of the time it takes long to get them, but I like them, so usually when I go up there into those regions of back, I craft them. Well, if you had a boss in a lot of missions, just an optional boss that you can defeat, which, well, I would say they should place bosses in closed off areas that are a lot smaller, not the big open spaces that they do now. That's a gripe for another mission. Good to me to rant about. Yeah, if they just add an optional boss, that would be a lot of fun. A lot of people would craft hunting rifles every mission just because they like to walk around and kill everything on sight and not have to worry about a beer or what to do when just a pack of wolves show up. Just want to just take the rifle and shoot at it. And most of the time that's just what the rifle is used for them. But if there's a boss in every mission, then they can have the satisfaction of also killing the boss, just because they already have that. And I think they all will go into that direction. So there's a lot to come in this game. They said there will be 2 expansions, which I'm looking forward to. I will also be speedrunning all of those missions. Yeah, so I think the game's actually pretty good right now, if you don't expect too much of it in terms of long-term survival. And I think it will get better, and I would really like you to yeah, give it a go and try a speedrun. They're pretty much just a short bit amount of fun, and you can lose all day on it because you need to do this mission.
Dropship's waiting and ready when you are.
And welcome back, and we're done with the mission.
You done down there? Sure looks like it from here.
Yeah, that's the mission. It's a long waiting, but we did it, and thanks for watching. I hope you skipped that rambling part, because it was a lot of boring stuff.